Think of the last time you tried to help someone and it didn't work. You had the right answer. You were certain, and yet nothing changed. That moment showed up in my kitchen last week. My son is doing a jigsaw puzzle. You know, one of those kiddie puzzles with the farm scene? Red barn, blue sky. He's holding this blue piece, and I can see exactly where it goes. Top right corner. I mean, obviously. So I say, "Hey, buddy, this piece goes up in the sky." He nods and places it not in the sky, not near the sky, but at the very bottom of the puzzle, where frankly, no sky has ever been before. I want to correct him, but instead I ask, "What are you building?" He looks up, eyes bright, "A rocket. I need this blue shape down here so it can fly." Oh, I knew where the piece went, but I didn't know what he was building. And that's what I've been doing for 25 years in my work with communities, thinking I know where the pieces go, not asking what they're trying to build. And when we don't ask, and when we get it wrong, it's not just a puzzle falling apart. It's people's trust. It's their livelihood. And it's the land they depend on. So why does helping fail? Not when we're malicious or lazy, but when we try our hardest, when we have the right solutions, and when we're absolutely certain we can help. That's when it fails, most spectacularly. Let me show you what I mean. I once took part in a team-building exercise. The task: convince the other group to move from one place to another. Easy, right? What I didn't know was that the other group had been instructed not to do what we'd ask. I tried everything: logic, persuasion, pleading. Nothing worked. I got so frustrated, I gave up halfway through the exercise. And here's what stung. I held a senior leadership position at a large multinational corporation, and I couldn't convince one person to move 3 steps to the left. I thought the problem was them, their resistance. Turns out, resistance wasn't the problem. Certainty was. And I was certain about a lot bigger things. For many years, I managed a large agricultural program in Tanzania, East Africa. I was working for an international coffee company, and we supported thousands of farmers. I was convinced I knew exactly what they needed. And we had solutions for everything. During one of my many field visits to Western Kilimanjaro, we were presenting our recommendations. The meeting is set in a classroom. 40 farmers on wooden benches. 20 minutes in, an elderly man stands up. "My wife and children are stealing from me." I was shocked and, quite frankly, confused. We're here to talk about coffee yields. So I ask, what's really happening here? Long silence. Then a woman stands up, 3rd row, bright orange dress. "We're not stealing. We're trying to survive. You see, we do all the work, picking, caring, sorting, but the money never reaches us. When harvest ends, my husband takes the payment and leaves, sometimes for a month. We're left with nothing. No soap, no sugar. The children need to eat. So yes, sometimes we sell a few cherries ourselves, not to steal, to survive. The room went completely still. This wasn't about coffee. This was about power. We could have doubled their yields, tripled their income, and there would have simply been more coffee and more money controlled exactly the same way. We realized we had been fixing technical problems and ignoring power. So we created space for couples to talk about their vision, their workload, who controls what. Nothing dramatic happened, but families started deciding together and redesigning their own lives. I stayed for years and watched those changes hold, and they lasted because people owned them. So I thought, okay, I finally get it. It's not about better solutions. It's about whose voice matters. But what actually happens when people have no voice? You see, I grew up in East Germany, where the state designed your future. The school you'd attend, the job you'd have, whether you can travel. I wanted to study abroad, become a dancer. The system said no. So I learned to nod and smile, while secretly, my mom and I were planning our escape. I watched the same pattern throughout my project work globally. Farmers would thank us, go home, and change nothing. When you have no real voice in what happens to you, something inside you shuts down. You know that feeling someone is certain they know what's best for you and you have no say? You nod, you smile, and you disconnect. Here's what neuroscience tells us. Your nervous system is constantly asking, am I safe here? When someone else controls what happens to you, your body registers that as a threat. You shift into survival mode. In that state, you might comply, but you won't commit. Thinking narrows, and collaboration drops away. But when you get to shape what happens, your nervous system registers safety. Thinking opens, and collaboration becomes possible. What lasts isn't what we build for people. It's what we build with them. And yes, resources matter, especially now. But the question is, are you using them to impose control or to enable ownership? Control says, here's my solution, this is what you need to do. Ownership asks, what would success look like to you? One collapses and one holds. So what do you actually do? Before your next meeting, ask yourself, am I about to present my solution or listen for theirs? Whether it's a blue puzzle piece in someone's hand, a project with your team, or communities facing climate change, ask the people who will live with it, what's important to you right now? And then listen. Thank you very much.